Mark chapter 8, looking at the last few verses, but focusing on verse 34. Deny yourself. Jesus is making a claim to redefine our lives through his life. He even says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14, verse 6. And saying that he claims to be a reference point, an anchor point. And in this passage here in Mark 8, to be Son of Man may be translated humanity as it was intended to be lived by the one who made it. What do you think? Well, you never know till you try it. And this is the choice. This is the choice he's come to. Try it. Try it for yourself. Jesus says, I am the one that you follow. One of the ways of translating way, the truth, and life is, I am the true living way. Interesting, isn't it? He's saying one thing. So there's a question about Jesus. Who do people say I am? That's in verses 27 to 30. Who do you say I am? And then the calling of Jesus, what that I am means, what that messiahship means. The Son of Man must suffer many things. And then a commission from Jesus. Now you do it. Come and follow me. So it follows in a tight sequence. So the first half of the whole of Mark's Gospel, chapter 1, verse 1, right down to chapter 8, verse 27, is concerned with one thing. It is, who is Jesus? He tells us the answer in chapter 1, verse 1. Jesus, Christ, Son of God. And then he explains how people received and how the miracles demonstrated and how the teaching taught and revealed. And now you come to this point. Who do you think? What do you think? And then Peter gets the right answer, but the wrong explanation. So he says, now, deny yourself and follow me. So the ultimate question leads to the second question is, the second half of Mark's Gospel is, so what? So if Jesus is the Christ, the anointed one, what does that mean for us? Why did Jesus come? So this little passage here in Mark 8 is like the fulcrum on which the whole gospel narrative operates. Now if I said, what do people say about me? Who do you say I am? You would take that as pretty clear evidence of unbearable pride or dementia. I am a poached egg. But when Jesus, it determines nothing. But when Jesus says it, it determines destiny. That's how big his claim is. Your answer to this question determines your destiny. Your answer to it is literally a matter of life and death. Who do you say I am? You are the Messiah. You are the anointed one. You are the promised one. So he's got the right answer, but the wrong explanation. Jesus began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things. And they're stunned. They're stunned because his picture doesn't tally with their picture. And he began to teach them that this was his calling. And this, wait a minute. Doesn't the Hebrew Scriptures promise that the Messiah will defeat all the enemies and establish a glorious kingdom for Israel? There's something wrong here, and they're confused. And Peter verbalizes the confusion, and he turns in a nanosecond from Peter the rock to Peter the stumbling block. Because he didn't realize something, and this is the principle, it's a really tough principle, that there's a connection, an integral connection between suffering and glory. That's going to be explained in the next chapter, in chapter 9, but that's where we come in here. Chapter 8, verse 34. The world doesn't understand the cost of being a Christ follower because it doesn't understand who Christ is. And so it can't understand what Christ has done for us. That there's a price to pay for true discipleship. If anyone would come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow. To the first century hearer, that meant a walk to execution. It meant the end of your previous life. It meant that whatever happened from here on out, your old way of life was done. We must walk with Christ. We must sacrifice with Christ. Whoever wants to save his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for me and the gospel will save it. And then Jesus asks two brief questions to crystallize it. He says in verse 36, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul, lose his life, lose the real you, as one version puts it. So the first question is, ask us what we value most. Most people gain none of the world. A few people gain a bit of the world. But no one's gained the whole world. He said, it's nothing. It's nothing in comparison to who you are. Who you really are. You are of incredible value. And then the next verse is the next question. Verse 37. What can a man give in exchange for this soul, this life, this thing that is of incredible value, incredible significance? And the answer is nothing. Nothing. One translation puts it, what can a man give to buy back his life? The answer there is quite subtle, isn't it? Is that he's already lost it by making a wrong choice. Because for the soul, there is no equivalent. Once it's been lost, it cannot be regained. Time travels in one direction. We never get a second shot. It's a fair exchange. What can you give in exchange for your soul? Nothing. Come follow me. Die with me. Live with me. We must walk with Christ. Sacrifice with Christ. And the last bit, verse 38, we must confess. Confess Christ. If you're ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of you when he comes in his Father's glory. It's a powerful picture. If we live for ourselves, we will lose ourselves. If we lose ourselves for his sake, we will find ourselves. And real life starts there.